So you buy a ticket. You have three options. Either you buy an A ticket, a B ticket, or a C ticket. And when you get to the airport and you start standing at the gate, you'll see that there are actually types of lines there. So what is the A-list? The A-list is the lucky 60 people, 60 passengers that are going to board the plane first. They're going to pick freely where they're going to be seated. What happens if you're a C? Yeah, you got my condolences in this case. So the steward or the gate personnel would always say, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, we have a full flight. And then if you're a C, guess what? You're thinking about A for your next flight. So now, A-list could be either bought as a premium on a regular ticket or cashed by cashing your rapid reward points that Southwest allows you. What is that? What is the A-list? Is it a trap or is it a lock? Take 10 seconds and think about it. Trap or lock? Trap or lock? Whoever said they're both was right on it. The reason is, if you buy a ticket, it's a trap. You're getting into this value proposition that nobody else has, even if you have those points and you decided to use your money. But if you're cashing your rapid reward points, you're telling Southwest as a passenger, as a customer, your lock works. I just used it. And so they know whether it's effective or not. But the business model of Southwest gets beyond this level. It's way more sophisticated. Last minute refund. So today, I'd like to fly in about 2 months or so. Okay, I'm going online. I'm going to southwest.com. And I'm looking at different options that I have. Maybe I'm using Booking, maybe I'm using other engines like Expedia or others. Doesn't matter. But there's one company only that says the following. Hey, listen, Mr. Passenger. If you buy my ticket, you're going to pay a little bit of a premium on top of other tickets. But from this point up until 2 hours before we get off the ground, you could change your mind and have second thoughts and cancel. And I'll give you all your money back. Full refund. No rebates, no credits, full refund. What is that? A trap or a lock? You're right. There's no way it's going to be a lock because we're dating and we couldn't get married until we board the plane. So it's a trap, and it is the perfect trap because Southwest uses this trap to move people away from other airliners onto theirs. But it gets better than this. 97% don't cancel. What does that mean? It means that Southwest gets all of this money beforehand, way before they created the value, and they use this money as cash in advance. And it's good for their cash flow, isn't it? So see, that business model thinking is something that's totally accessible. And we're getting to understand this better as we're using visual tools like the Canvas. Now you might say, all airliners, you have to pay for that ticket in advance. Yes, but this specific mechanism drives the money onto their place rather than pouring into others' pots. So, interestingly enough, Southwest is not happy. They want to have another customer segment, unlike the industry. So they decided they're going to turn their key partners into customers also. And you remember what a customer is, right? Someone we need to create value for. So what is the value they're creating for secondary airports? Yes, a traffic value, meaning they're bringing them potential buyers that will buy from the businesses that are in the airport. And it's really interesting because when Southwest actually lands at LAX or San Francisco, they do pay a toll. Fine, They pay for the services they get. It's a major airport. But whenever they land in Cincinnati or Oakland or Denver for that matter, Denver and the other guys pay them because they bring value. And who do they bring the value for or value to? They bring it to their customers. And this is a really important point I'd like to stall on for a minute. Whenever Southwest brings value to their customer, which means they're thinking 2 steps ahead, they're going to lock their direct customer. Let me repeat that. Whenever you're bringing value to your customer's customer, you're locking your customer in. And you'll see another example of that as we move on with another exercise. So they use customer segment A as their resource, and then they say, you want our customers? You want our passengers? No problem. Let's negotiate. So with this, we understand that Southwest really has a very unique, sophisticated model for which they have the entire latitude of using operational, business, and other types of tools at their disposal to make it profitable, to make it viable, and to make it desirable to customers. If we really need to look at their mechanism for getting those airports on board, it's interesting to find that they're using something called layover. So whenever you get on a 3-hour flight, you have to land somewhere in the middle, halfway through the flight, at a secondary airport. So if I fly from Orange County over to Cincinnati, Ohio, we're going to land in Oakland, or we're going to land in Denver. And then people are going to step out, people are going to step in, nobody's going to connect. It's called a layover, and it's a bus. It's really bringing this value proposition into life. And by the way, they don't have a hub, so they stay over at nights at their customer premises. If we look at the business model from a pattern perspective, I think it's interesting enough to understand that business models don't just live in a specific industry. They could travel across industries. They could be imported or copied. And that's what innovation is all about. So double-sided platform is all about customer A and customer B, and they're interdependent. By doing this, we're putting a connecting platform between them, and we're controlling the entire growth and explosion of this business model. Digital channels, direct. Earning from key partners as well. So how about your thinking? How do we put key partners as customers? And then other questions like, what's the value we're going to give them? Are they going to pay for it? Are more interesting than just having suppliers and customers. One size fits all, or turning customers into a resource, is one of the magic moments of business modeling. Pick your main customer, turn them into a resource, and serve that value to somebody else. Who would that somebody else be? Vacation services without becoming one. X services without becoming one. So Southwest isn't a tourist or tourism company, but they are able to perform in this field because of their key partnerships. And of course, less features, higher volumes, or earn before you spend, like that trick they put with the collection of money beforehand, and that returning or refund factor is something really important. So as you can see from a pattern perspective, those patterns have got nothing to do with airlines or planes. How would you use them in your model?